But with that, you guys start working on it, and then all of a sudden you have all these crazy travel opportunities, and you start seeing all these different places. What's it like being in all these places and working on music? Like, what are the different vibes like? Because none of us, most of us, I would say, have not been able to go to different cities and experience different cultures. And I guess what could we all benefit from your experiences in these places?
It's just it's how you handle yourself. I mean, look, let's talk about Atlanta. Atlanta is a totally different place. Like the music scene there is everyone's willing to help you, and if and it and they're willing to get you to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, how can I explain it? Like, when I went to Atlanta, it was to meet Prince Inc. I don't know if you know Prince Inc. And it was to meet Waka Flocka Flame. I know you know Waka. I
I
know
know
you
Laka.
Jimmy Rocket, etc. His artists, whatnot. So yeah, so basically, I don't know. It's it. Let's just put it this way: it's a different world. You know what I mean? It's a different world. When I was doing the track with Jimmy Rocket, it wasn't the same as recording in Montreal because obviously you have people looking at you. You have Waka Flocka sitting there in the studio. You know, you don't want to fuck up, and you're just a boy from Canada. You know what I mean? So you know who these guys are. You know, so yeah, it's kind of like you have to prove yourself, but you don't have to try too hard because everybody that's in the room already believe in you. You know what I mean? It's like they're rooting for you.
Mm.
It's like they'll put in their input because I had a lot of producers when I was in the studio. I'd just be sitting there. I'd be you know what I mean. I'd be looking for ideas, or I would say something out of line, and no one would put in their input. You know what I mean? There, if they hear something that they would like to hear, they'll be like, yo, come try this way. You know what I mean? Try, and that's where it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that,
I don't. A lot of people in Montreal don't have input to put like they don't have input
so
basically.
I've talked to,
That's what I feel.
I've definitely talked to a few people. For one thing, it must be a trip to get creative input from Waka Flocka Flame. Like, honestly, I went from like being like, what the fuck is this guy's
Nerve
music,
wracking.
to being like, I think Waka's one of the few guys I'd currently pay money to go see. And I'm fucking sad his shit's on a Saturday because all of my Saturdays are booked with interviews. But he's coming to Montreal or Laval or wherever the fuck it is. Oka? I don't know. One of these places around Montreal. And it's fucking dope. But like, that must be a crazy experience just to see that.
Yeah, man. It's a crazy experience just to be in the same room with the guy. You know what I mean? It's just the experience. You can't beat that experience. And then there's also Texas. When you go to Texas, you're there. You're meeting Sauce Walka. You're meeting Peso Peso. You have all these high end artists there, like you know what I mean, like right behind you or right beside you. It's overwhelming sometimes. Compton is different. You have Glasses Malone. He had a song with I think Lil Wayne and Birdman. He's signed to them, I think, even. And yeah, for there, it's like I got invited to go to Compton, and who does these deals? Brian, because he can't cross the border because he has a criminal record.
Oh shit.
So he pays for me to go there, and he does the business over the phone. That's why he's a gangster. You know what I mean? He's doing it over the phone. Like, yo, that's I don't think much people could do that, man,
Nah, it takes a certain degree of swag to be an over the phone salesman. I'm
But that's
not.
the call center. That's the call center working. You see?
That's facts.
The sales.
So yo, what I'm hearing is rappers need to invade call centers to find salesmen to be their managers. Yo, that sounds like a plan.
that well, yeah, if you talk about my story, yeah, man.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I look when I listen to people's stories, I go, "What the fuck is replicatable here?" Right? Like, because everybody has a story. Maybe we all don't meet a Brian who's as good as Brian, but the call center grants my life. Like the last 11 years of my life has been attached to a call center in some way. I can tell you
I
one
hear you.
thing: having the right salesman on your fucking corner, that dude will sell anything to anyone and get you deals. And I am not that guy. I know that. I'm a customer service motherfucker, which is not sales. It's a very different world.
Mm.
So I'll keep the money. I don't, just for those that I keep the money. I don't get the money kind of thing. So,
I hear you.
but yo, let's say you're sitting there, you're a rapper, and you're like, yo, I need to go meet a person. Because, yo, one thing I realized is people are really bad at, like, and myself included, I had to learn this lesson the fucking hard way. You actually have to leave your damn house and go places to meet people, right? Like, it's even with the internet, you still kind of have to put effort in there, too, whether you're combing hashtags and shit. So, let's say you're really stuck. Boom, go get a job at a minimum wage call center. You'll find somebody. Somebody will be there that is useful to your life. Like if you really got nothing to do. And I never thought of that before as like a viable strategy for a musician to take. That I'm gonna recommend. Oh, you're bored? Go work in a call center for 3 weeks. You'll find a producer or some shit. I promise. There's always a producer. There's always a somebody in a call center. I mean, that.
Yeah. A call just came and
Yeah, no worries about it, man. Nah, so that's still pretty fucking big with it. But yeah, the other thing that you brought up was the producing. I think a lot of people got language twisted. Maybe it's a language thing because it's Quebec or whatever. But people confuse beatmaker and producer as the same occupational role. And they're not really. Like a beatmaker is a guy who composes the beats. And a lot of the engineers are beatmakers. Even an engineer. Like I've become a recording engineer. That's a motherfucker that hits Control R and stops it and maybe slides some shit around. That's the extent of what I bring in. That's a recording engineer, right? So it gets real specific in this. A producer is a decision maker. Ultimately, the producer is like the director of the song and the rapper is like the actor of the song, right? And there's not a lot of people playing that producer role up in the city. And I was talking to this young one and he was like, bro, there's no producers. That's why there's no sound. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good point. There's no like direction happening for all these artists. So like there's no Mark Ronsons. That's it. So you touched on that before and I was like, that's a really nifty fucking point that he made. Because to be fair, my engineer tried to produce me for a minute and I was like, fuck you, I want to do what I want. And that was my attitude. And then I had to get over it and realize engineers know more than me about music probably.
But the thing is like, look, a lot of people just put the producer, which is the beat maker, as the engineer. You know what I mean? Because like that's what we did. We had Steez basically as the beat maker. He wasn't an engineer, but he learned to be an engineer, you know, with the record and this and that. And that's why at the beginning of of this journey that I went on, this musical journey, it basically my sound wasn't you know, it wasn't where it needed to be, you know. So now the music that I'm making is I actually found a producer like and a beat maker. He's both.